All right, Red Sox fans, it's hard to believe, but the Red Sox season opens in just a few days. This is Bobby Gaines, of course, your resident YouTube Red Sox fan. Just ignore all those other ones who probably have more successful channels. And I love to talk baseball and sports in general. Usually only do it a few times a year. And, of course, with the season starting soon, figured may as well kind of talk about the 2009 Boston Red Sox and what I think about them. And really, I don't know. I kind of almost feel the same way I felt last year. Now, of course, last year they won the World Series, and I thought they were going to be really good last year. I didn't think they'd win the World Series, but they did. It was a great playoff run. Of course, we got a lot of it on camera. The World Series, a little anticlimactic, but the ALCS against the Astros, even though it only went 5 games, was really epic. Just had a great time watching that team. But still, as strange as it sounds, I didn't have as great a time watching them as past championship teams. And they didn't really do anything this offseason. And that's kind of the disappointing part, and that's kind of what I'm going to get into now. Most notably with the bullpen, which, yes, I know the bullpen turned out okay in the postseason, but they lost Joe Kelly, who was a big part of that. They didn't really replace him. And Kimbrel's most likely gone. Nobody signed him, which is really weird. In general, baseball free agency has been very off the last couple of years, and still Craig Kimbrel doesn't have a team, even though for all the crap I give him, he's still a pretty decent closer. I think somebody would have signed him. Also, getting away from the bullpen for a second, I would have liked to see the Red Sox get like a Charlie Morton or a Dallas Keuchel, some other starter to kind of supplement their staff. I know maybe that's not their number one need, but would have been nice, with Eduardo Rodriguez and now Stephen Wright out for half the season because of a PED thing, which, nobody saw that coming, but still. Would have been nice to have some starting depth, but no bullpen depth at all. And that's, I'm not going to lie and say it's not going to be an issue. It's going to be an issue. And not that I have anything against Brazier and Barnes, but really outside of them, Heath Hembry, he's okay. I assume like Brian Johnson or some minor leaguers may be brought up to supplement the bullpen, Bobby Poinier. But they don't have a closer. Like, none of those guys are closers. They're all just kind of relievers. And you had options out there. You had David Robertson, Andrew Miller. You had enough relievers that you could have at least taken a flyer on. I think Zach Britton was available. You could have made a trade like the Mets did for Edwin Diaz. Like, there were options to be had for the bullpen, either for setup or closer. And they don't have any of those roles defined. As of today, and the season starts in a few days, I don't think they've even named a closer. I'm going to just say it's Matt Barnes because he throws the fastest, but that doesn't mean he's the best pitcher. And, that's a little worrisome. As much as I didn't like Kimbrel, at least I knew he was a closer. He had closing experience. He had a lot of success with the Braves and the Red Sox, and, he was good, even though a lot of times he wasn't good. Usually when you needed him the most, he was at least a closer. I'd rather have someone who's a closer than no closer, because right now I got no idea. And, they won 108 games last year, and the funny thing is when you win 108 games, it's really awesome, best Red Sox team of all time, you could argue. But you can really only go down from there. Like, I don't think they're going to win more than 108 games. Very few teams in the history of baseball have. And I'd be interested to see the numbers when a team wins that many games, like how they do the next year. I don't think they're going to do bad, but I also, I'm not expecting another 100 wins. I think 95 wins is probable. I think the Yankees got better. I think definitely, the rest of the league got at least a little better. Teams like, the Astros will still be there. The Indians will still be there. Although I'm not as threatened by the Indians. I feel like they're just the best team in a bad division. But, this is going to be your teams. And then there'll be a team that comes out of nowhere. Tampa Bay surprised a lot of people last year. I don't think the Oakland Athletics are going to win another 98 games or whatever it was, although I think they'll still be good. You never know. A team I'm not thinking of could just come out of nowhere and, be a good team. And that's kind of why I like baseball, and that's kind of why it's so hard to predict. That's why I could see this Red Sox team winning 95. I could see them winning like 88 and missing the playoffs or something crazy like that, even with all the starting depth they have. And like I said, I would have loved to see them sign somebody, even if it was just a minor kind of addition. They really just kind of kept the team the same. They re-signed Evaldi. They re-signed Pierce. They did re-sign Chris Sale, which I thought was big. He won't be a free agent now. He's signed for the next 5 years after this year. They overpaid for him a little bit, I think, but I'd rather have that ace and just kind of know, kind of like with the closer. I'd like to know who the number one starter is, and with Chris Sale, you know who it's going to be for at least the next few years. And, I'm hoping that this isn't going to be a repeat of 2014, because, the 2013 Red Sox looked so good, and it looked like they were there to stay, and of course we all know what happened. 2014 was a disaster of a season, even though a lot of things were the same. That's kind of how I feel now. They kind of just kept the team the same. Does that mean it's going to do well? Well, to be fair, I think the parallels between the 13 and 18 Red Sox are not really there too much. The 2018 Red Sox, were expected to do well, whereas the 2013 team was just a pleasant surprise. I think the 2013 team had a lot of veterans that just performed over their heads, whereas I think that the 2018 team had a lot of young talent that's only going to get better. Benintendi's probably going to have a good season. Betts, of course, you know what you're getting. Bogarts and all those guys. JD Martinez in the middle of the lineup. So they should have more than one good year in them, unlike the 13 Red Sox, who just kind of fell apart in 2014. This team should at least be good this year, and then eventually the free agents are going to come up, and who knows what's going to happen. But obviously the Red Sox chief competition in the AL East is the New York Yankees, and they are still, they still have a great lineup. Their bullpen's still solid. Their starting rotation, even though they got Paxton, I still kind of question that. But with that bullpen, and that's kind of why I get a little worried. With the bullpen, whether the game is 9-8 or 2-1, you still need a bullpen to hold that lead. So maybe the Yankee starters don't do as well, but they still win games because they have, reliable 7th, 8th, and 9th inning pitching. Whereas the Red Sox, I don't know what they have. So Chris Sale could still pitch really well, and they could lose games. So I don't really know. It's going to be interesting to see these two go back and forth. I look forward to more Red Sox and Yankees games. It's weird because I could see the Red Sox winning the division, but I could see them actually losing to the Yankees in the season series. I could see the Yankees beating them more often just because of that offense. When they play at Fenway, the big advantage for the Yankees hitters. Same thing with Yankee Stadium. Really, both stadiums are kind of conducive to home runs, and the Yankees hit home runs. So do the Red Sox, but not quite like the Yankees do. So I think the Yankees could, look better than the Red Sox at times, but I think the Red Sox will still win the division. I think it will be the 4th or 5th straight year they've done that. But it's going to be a close race the whole time. And, I'm not counting the Rays out either. They're going to be a challenge, even though on paper it doesn't look like it, but they've made some additions. Would have been nice to see the Red Sox make some more additions, but, I guess they could still do something before the season starts or maybe after the season starts. Not sure what you're going to get out of Pedroia. I know he's going to play this year. It looks like he's going to be ready to go maybe a week or two into the season. I don't know if he's going to be the Pedroia of old. He might be a serviceable second baseman, which right now is good enough. They got Devers at third. They've got Nunez who they can rotate in. Brock Holt they can rotate in. Mitch Moreland at first. If anything, they have too many infielders. They've got a ton of infielders with Mitch Moreland and everybody else. And, of course, a really great defensive outfield with Jackie Bradley Jr., Mookie Betts, and Benintendi out there. With, of course, JD Martinez being your DH. Well, I don't need to tell you guys. You guys know the Red Sox lineup. The catching position is what it is. Christian Vasquez is a liability at the plate, but so Sandy Leone. They both do a good job calling games and throwing out runners and all that good defensive stuff. So as long as they don't suck too bad, they're probably going to bat 8th or 9th in the lineup anyway. So the catching position I'm not really worried about. Like I said, the only big worry I have with the team is the bullpen. They didn't do a thing to address it. And also the expectations are just so high after winning a World Series that I don't know if they can live up to that again. I'm not saying that means they're going to stink. I just think it's unrealistic. Not too many teams repeat, and, even fewer teams, have a good playoff run with what looks like a really bad bullpen. And last year, I was kind of about the bullpen. I thought the bullpen concerns were overrated. This year, even I'm saying that the bullpen is bad, and I'm usually pretty forgiving of the bullpen, but no official closer and just kind of a bunch of random guys. I can't really get behind that, so we'll see what happens. I still think they win over 90 games. Like I said, about 95 seems fair. Maybe that wins the division. Maybe the Yankees run away with it. Don't really know. But that's why we play the game. So, Red Sox opening day coming up. Let's go Red Sox.